Everybody, what's good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I'm your favorite armchair GM, CJ.
And I'm your favorite couch scout extraordinaire, Tony. Come on, one time. Yeah, y'all know what it is.
Hey, welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands, y'all. Where today our topic is the top five wide receiver unrestricted free agents, okay? And why,
Yes, sir.
why in God's name would any of them want to come play for Carolina? All right. But before we get started, Tony, how you doing today, cuz?
Hey, I'm good. That gave me a little giggle right there. That hey, the truth can be funny as well as it can be painful. It can be funny as well. But man, shoot, I'm doing good, cuz I can't complain. How about yourself?
Hey man, I'm doing good. Look, my quote unquote global headquarters is it's almost there. It's
What?
almost there.
We
I
making
got to
progress?
We're making progress. I got a few more seams to tape up, and then I got some final coats of mud to put on, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding and painting and floor. So I hope to be out there pretty soon.
Already.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Already. That's
sir.
what's up.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
That's what's up. Man, I'm good. Like I said, hey, just taking it one day at a time, wake up. Thank God for allowing me to wake up on this side of the dirt. You feel me?
Hey, facts, 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 facts. Shout out to everybody that's joined us already in the chat. We got Doug from What's Up, Doug. It's the top of the morning, fellas. Top of the morning, Doug.
What's up, Doug?
All right, Tony, leave him alone today. No, I'm sorry.
I ain't listen. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I ain't got nothing. I
Yeah,
ain't
all
got
right.
nothing.
Leave him be. Chris, how you doing, man? He said, fellas, what's going
What's
on,
going on,
Chris?
Chris?
Mr. Hunky Dory, it's the afternoon. Hell yeah,
Mister
it's Saturday. There you go. Hell yeah, it's
Mr.
Saturday.
Honky Dory, what's good, sir?
All right. Kevin Hubbard, how you doing? Yes, sir. Keep pounding. That's right. Keep
Keep
pounding. How you
pounding,
doing?
brother.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I also wanted to bring up something that's happened the past couple of days. The NFL has released some new salary cap numbers. Okay. So the total salary cap has increased to $255.4 million. Okay. So for the
Right.
Panthers, that means our salary cap has gone up about, I'll say $13 million, I think, to
Yeah.
around
13.
42.8, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost
So
43 mil.
yeah, so maybe that had, well, not maybe, I think that has a lot of impact on what we can do as far as our free agents. That's 13 million more dollars that we didn't have last week. Okay, so that might be
Fact.
good news for signing Brian Burns and bringing him back, signing Frankie Louvu, signing Derek Brown to an extension, and and maybe bringing in another free agent, wide receiver, to help us out. But yeah, but if we let me bring it up here. All right, slide this over real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Gotta get my screens adjusted. Okay, but if we look at Spot Track here, 42,075,624. All right, that's what our new cap figure is. So that's the extra
Okay.
$13 million that's been added that the Panthers have to play around with. And also here, and I like Spot Track. It's a nice little website, but they got the people on here that can be restructured. Okay. And I think I'm gonna save that for another video, but I went through and I restructured all of these, and it definitely bumped the salary cap up a good little bit. And me and Tony were
Yeah.
talking before we got live, talking about Dante Jackson, and I've been harping, for the past couple weeks, restructured Dante Jackson, but according to Spot Track, he's not eligible for a contract restructure. And Tony,
That's
what
right.
what do we come to the conclusion to? Because I forgot that fast.
Because he signed that 3-year, $35 million contract, but is voided after the second year, which this would
Mm,
be the second year. Now, if we were to pick it up, he would become an unrestricted free agent in 2025. But I believe, now, don't, yeah, I may be wrong, but from
mm,
what I understand, because that third year is voided, basically is no, is basically just what it says. is null and void. So even though it says 3 year 35 million, he really only getting 2 years 23 million. So if
Okay,
he's in the year of his contract, you can't restructure the last year because there's nothing to extend.
gotcha. Okay,
Mm,
all right.
yeah.
Bet, bet. All right. So now, out of the receivers that we are about to talk about, let me ask you this before we get started: who do you think has the has the who do you think the Panthers had the biggest chance to sign, or
As
who would
far
you
as
like to
wide
see him sign?
receivers,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I can say two. I can go with
Okay.
two people. I say Mike Evans. Now, what are the chances that we sign Mike Evans? I would say 50-50. He is an unrestricted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a great year, probably one of his best years, if not his best year, as a pro playing in Dave Canales' system. So he knows the system. It's not like he would be coming and learning something foreign. So not only does he know it, he can teach it to the young guys. Okay.
Okay.
That automatically gives Bryce Young a credible, established weapon on the outside. Uh my second player would be Calvin Ridley. I like Calvin Ridley because he is a route runner perfectionist. Not only can he run routes, but he can also take the top off of defense if needed, and he got great hands. He's coming off his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna be looking to get a bag. I think most teams will be kind of hesitant to probably give him the money that he values and sees for himself, but he's going to get something. Now, how big that bag is, I don't
Yeah.
know. And it can be a thing too that, hey, after his year of suspension, Jacksonville was the first team that came and snagged him up. He may have some type of loyalty to Jacksonville, and you never know. He may go back
Yeah.
there. But I like Calvin Ridley, and I like Mike Evans.
Okay. All right.
What
Cool.
about you?
Man.
Who are the two that if you had to wave a magic wand, rub the bottle of the genie and say, "Bring me these two wide receivers." Your giantness. Who would you go for?
I'm not gonna lie. Um, I would say Evans and Ridley. Okay. Evans get you like you said, he has that veteran presence. He knows the offense. He can teach the offense to the fellow wide receivers in the group if he comes in. Calvin
Right.
Ridley. One thing about Calvin really has a nice set of hands. He can make difficult
Yes.
catches. He can get open. He can get separation. And like you said, he has the speed to take top off of defense. So to me, Calvin
Natural
really
hand
is a
special.
yeah, he's a well-rounded receiver. If you go back and look, especially
Right.
his tape in Atlanta, he's made a lot of really nice, difficult, over the shoulder catches. Now, mind you, our quarterback, I'm not rookie quarterback anymore. He's got to make sure he puts he puts the ball in the right spots if
Right.
we were to get him. That's a big if. Okay. But
Right.
yeah, I think a combination of Evans and Ridley would be nice. Now, mind you, I don't think there's no way in hell we get both of them. But
Right.
either
Exactly.
one, either one of them, I'll be completely fine with. All right.
All right. So let's bring it back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
So now reality has set in.
Okay.
Who would be your choice? And let's just stick with the top five. And the top five list was I got from NFL.com. So these are the top five undrafted free. I mean, I'm sorry, unrestricted
Unrestricted.
free agents for 2024. It's not
Okay.
our order, or anything like that. This came straight from NFL.com. So I mean, there are some other sleeper receivers out there. I see Doug mentioned Gabe Davis. Now that is
Mm-hmm.
definitely my sleeper. That now you talking about somebody that can go get that ball, great speed, good route running. know how to, sink his hips. He know how to use his shoulders. You know, he can sell water to a well. So I like Gabe Davis, man. So, but he wasn't on that top five list. So just top five out of reality, who do you think would be a good option that Carolina should go after?
A good option.
Yeah,
Okay, we bringing it back to reality here, right?
bringing it back to reality. Out of the top five, you can't go outside the top five.
Top five,
Yeah, top five.
Ridley,
Who you got?
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
You know,
me too.
I
Me too.
I think we could bring Calvin Ridley in. Okay,
Yeah,
I think we could bring Calvin Ridley in. Out of this top five, and maybe even Marquise Brown. Now we don't know what his situation and really we don't know exactly any kind of contract talks or anything or what any of these guys are asking for. But give me
now
Ridley.
see that's where I had. I don't envision. I don't see Marquise Brown as a number one wide receiver. Reason why I say that because Marquise Brown to this day has done nothing in the NFL that make you say he's a number one wide receiver. I just don't. For me personally, I just don't see it, and I definitely wouldn't take him over Calvin Ridley.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
Cobb. Chris said
my
Cobb.
Randall
What?
Cobb.
Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb
And
still
Randy
in
Cobb
the
about 40 years old.
league.
Come
Okay.
on, Chris. Randall Cobb's up there. He up there. Hey, he definitely on the downside of his playing time.
Well, hey, we'll see. But let's get into the list and some slides that we
Okay.
got on these free agents here. All right. Number one is T. Higgins. Okay. 6'4", 219 pounds out of Clemson. 2020 second round pick 33, which is the pick that the Panthers have this upcoming draft. His stats from
Right.
this past season: 42 receptions, 656 yards, 5 touchdowns. But look at that average: 15.6 yards a catch. Okay. Career
Yeah.
stats:
Go get it.
257 receptions, 3,684 yards. Career average 14.3 yards a catch, 24 touchdowns with a long of 80 yards. Okay. He is a 2024
Right.
unrestricted free agent. Um, he is going into, let me see,
The fifth year.
fifth year of his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and we got likely to be franchised. Okay. But as I found out before we got on here, I didn't see this yesterday, but Tony told me he's already been franchised. So
Yeah.
Cincinnati has already
Yeah.
franchised T.
Sources
Higgins.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
in Rappaport says sources said that the Bengals are going to franchise tag T. Higgins. But that doesn't mean he won't be available because it could be a sign and trade.
Hmm.
There's rumors out there that T. Higgins might not even, really don't want to play on that franchise tag because he can't until he sign it. There's nothing that they can do. Now he can work out whether he's going to stay or not, or even work out a contract extension. But none of that really matters until he signed that franchise tag.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, being that he is franchised, okay,
Right.
what do you think the Panthers would have to give up to pick him? You think this would be another think about what we gave up to get the number one pick last year. I know there's different circumstances, he's is different,
Right.
totally different thing. But what we likely have to give up to get him. I'm pretty sure if he sign it tag and trade, you sign and trade. I'm sure Cincinnati gonna want a first round pick.
Huh. In my opinion, in my opinion, the only way that you can probably say that it would work and you can come away with T. Higgins without giving up any draft capital
Hmm.
is trading him for Brian Burns straight up. That's the only way. You trade him for
Hmm.
straight because Cincinnati is going to want a first round pick for him.
Yeah.
You can bet that, especially by them putting the franchise tag on them. They're gonna want a first round draft pick at least to come
Okay.
back if you're going to sign and trade him. So you gotta kind of weigh your options of what you want to do right now. As far as draft capital, we're
Mm-hmm.
not in a position to give away draft capital because we really don't have any.
Facts. Yeah.
So if things can't work out with Brian Burns and you know Dan Morgan and Brent Tillis are on the phone, talking to Cincinnati, and T. Higgins ain't happy here. Well, hell, Brian Burns ain't happy here neither. Well, how about we just give them both a change of scenery? You know what I'm saying? Well, I think that'll be good, Bob. Let's do that. And they shake on it and make it happen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So, but and like Rock Jones just said, um, was it right here? Oh, yeah, Bengals ain't letting Higgins go anywhere this year. They have Super Bowl aspirations. That's true. Cause hey, one thing as well, you got Joe Burrow coming back from injury. Joe Burrow come back in the fold. And if Joe Burrow
Mm-hmm.
says, I want T. Higgins here next year, T.
T. Higgins
Higgins
be
is
there.
going to be in Cincinnati next year. So it's all about what Joe Burrow really wants, in my opinion. I think he has
Mm-hmm.
that much cachet that he can go to the head people and say, "Hey, I need A, B, and C in order for us to reach the goals that we're trying to reach." So,
Facts.
yeah. What you
Yeah.
think? What you think? Do you think that we should give up anything for T? Oh, let me better ask that question. Do you think we should trade Brian Burns straight up for T. Higgins, or do you think that we should forfeit any future draft capital to get T. Higgins? Because we don't have no first this year to give them.
Mm-mm.
We ain't got
No, we
shit
don't.
to give them this year. So
Okay. This is a have to choose scenario, right? It's one or the other. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, one or the other. You know what? For shits and giggles, just go ahead
Mm.
give me a good explanation for both. Just go and give me a good explanation for both.
Okay. So I don't have a good explanation for trading draft capital because, like you said, we don't have a lot, and we really need
Right,
to hit on our picks this year because, like Mr. Hunky Dory said, bring in the talent, bring them in young. That's what Panthers need to do. They need to bring in talent, get them on those rookie deals, get them out there, and try and take advantage of what they can do before they want these big, expensive ass contracts. You know, and that's
right.
probably the plan for every team in NFL. So the for picks, absolutely not. I don't think there's a good side in it for us if we traded picks. Brian
Right.
Burns,
Me
if
neither.
I had to choose, I would go that way. But that's if I had to choose because I want Brian Burns to stay in Carolina. Okay. I really want him to stay in Carolina. But if I absolutely had to choose, I think I would trade him, just a straight up swap. Okay. So that way we still
Ooh,
got all our picks. Go ahead.
okay. So on top of that, let me ask you this question.
Hmm.
What do you think what do you think is the most important need for Carolina to have next year? To have a number one wide receiver such as T. Higgins, or
Hmm.
having Brian Burns back in the fold to be the anchor on the defense? Because I'm asking these questions because these are the type
Mhm,
of questions and probably thoughts that are going through upper management head. These are things that Dan Morgan, Brent Tillis, Dave Canales, these are all the things these guys have to talk about to try to figure out who we need to keep, who we need to release, who we need to trade, who we need to extend. These are the
mhm.
type of conversations that's going on every single day.
To be honest with you, if I had to trade, I'm sorry, trade. If I had to choose, I would say wide receiver will probably be more pressing. Okay, because and I only say this now. Let me preface this. Okay, I do want Brian Burns to stay, but if we're going to get 8 sacks out of Brian Burns last year, like we did this year, we can do like the Rams. We can find 8 sacks from a rookie in somewhere in the draft. Okay, when we was talking about
Right.
our mock draft, we had Muhammad Kamara there, and we was talking about him and what he did, versus Colorado and stuff like that. I ended up picking Baker from UCF, but it's not a draft that's just deep with like the edge rusher, linebacker talent, but there are some good names. I think there's some good talent that we could possibly pick up. If we were to trade and get T. Higgins, then think about we could use that 33rd pick. If we don't go offensive line, if they feel like what they got is okay, or everybody coming back, everybody's going to be healthy. We could take the best edge rusher that's available at pick number 33. All right, but like I said, I don't. God, I don't want to sound like I'm trashing Brian Burns here because I'm not, but I'm just going on what we got out of him last
You
year.
probably are.
Now I don't I know no, I don't want to trash, but I like Brian Burns. But my thing is, what he did last year, we could get that from somebody else. And I hate to say that like that, but I think that's to me that's just my opinion. Okay, if I had to choose between what we need more, Burns or a top wide receiver, I think I'd have to take top wide receiver.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So
So get to
you
some of
ready
these
to move on?
comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. We'll go back. What was the last one that we read? Uh, I think Rock Jones. Yeah. Mr. Hungador said, mentor me. Chris said, straight up. This is when we was talking about T. Higgins and Brian
Right.
Burns, straight up. All right. Let's see. Rock Jones said, pay and keep our own star players and hit on our draft picks for a change. I like that idea. That's a good idea. Matter of fact, but we just throwing out different scenarios, different
Mhm.
conversations that's probably being had. You know,
There you go,
so
Doug. I put the link in the chat, man. I just saw your comment.
all right. Mr. Hungador said Trey Burns draft has talent. We need our draft picks. Draft picks build Super Bowl teams, not 30-year-olds, been injured, close to retirement types. That's true. That's true, Mr. Hungador.
Yeah.
That's right. The young talent, get some fresh young legs in there, some
Hmm.
hungry dogs.
And I
Now
think
this one
maybe
I
he
don't
talking
agree
about
with.
like I'm thinking talk like Mike Evans or something. But I think Mike Evans could
Yeah,
be like a great bridge wide receiver, to have to help us when we bring in newer, younger talent, to get them on track.
yeah,
If he feel like, okay, at the
I
end of
agree
this
with that.
couple years, I'm done, then I think the benefits of him being here, even though he is older, that man hasn't had a season under 1,000 yards in his career. I mean, he's had Jameis Winston, Tom Brady, and Baker Mayfield. So he's had the
Yeah,
ups and downs of a quarterback, but that man produces. So
and his production is not slacking off. You know what I mean?
not at all.
His production is not slacking off at all. So, Chris says, dump Burns and Brown, get back in the first, rough it for a year.
Ooh,
I can't agree with that one. I can't agree with dumping up Burns and Brown. That's no, I don't think they're
hey,
gonna do that.
what's up, Doug?
Let's see, Miss.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Doug?
Not much,
Hey,
man.
Tony. I just want to point out that Doug is outside in the daylight before you say something.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing. I had nothing to say.
I'm at.
I'm
I
chill.
told y'all I'm at a cabin. Here, let me return. Let me. So we in the woods.
Oh, okay. I hear you,
He
Doug.
filming, man. He filming. But yeah. So Mr. Hunky Dory said, grab Higgins. We can get Edge in the draft. That's
so
hey. I don't know.
let's talk about
Hold
first. But
hold on,
first,
Doug. Hold on. Let me read through these real quick. We're at the
go ahead. Go
bottom
ahead. Go ahead.
of the league in sacks. We want to trade our only sack artist. No, we're not saying that, Rob. We're just saying those are possibilities. Those are things that, like we said, those are conversations that's being had behind
I,
the scenes. Well, with upper management. We just
and
saying,
I
you
and
know,
I
what
like I
if?
like Burns, but a sack artist gets you more than eight
Yeah,
sacks. Yeah, a
yeah.
sack artiste
Let's
gets
see.
you more than 8 sacks.
Mr. Hungry Door said, damn right, Chris. May not Brown. be young, hard position to fill with this talent. Okay. So go ahead, CJ. Go ahead, Doug.
How many likes we got? You already know what time it is, Tony. You already know what time it is before we even start. How many likes we got?
Shoot, I
Uh,
don't even know. I don't have my other
uh,
screen up.
oh, CJ, I thought he had it up because I don't never have it up.
Well, it don't matter. Again, before we get into it, anytime that I come on anybody's channel, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The last time I checked, our fellas are a little bit underneath 60 to get to that thou wow,
Nine
to that 1K.
947.
Subscribe, subscribe,
Yes, sir.
like the video, share the video, and leave a comment. Again, this is the beginning of the off season. Everybody and their mama is talking about wide receivers, but we have not heard Tony and CJ's perspective on the wide receiver class and free agents. So if you're enjoying the content, if you're not enjoying the content, like we say as well, go ahead and like or dislike. We appreciate the support, and I know they do as well. So again, like, subscribe, and share the video, man. So
Appreciate it,
Tony, now
brother.
Is somebody getting spanked in the background?
nah, they playing
'Cause I heard
cornhole.
somebody.
They playing cornhole. They playing cornhole.
Lord, go ahead, Doug, before he says something else.
So, like I said, Tony, if y'all gave me about 2 more hours, I had that enthusiasm like I had yesterday. I ain't go to bed till 3 this morning. So, um, man, 3 this morning, we were just kicking it. Like I said, we ain't seen each other for about a couple of months, so we had to catch up and laugh and all that. Back to the content. T. Higgins will not be traded. It's not a transition tag. It's a regular franchise tag. So it's
Mm.
either
Yeah,
you 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 show up or you pull a Chris Jones because they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him, and I think y'all alluded to it. So
but
it's
you
not
can.
exclusive.
You can even on the franchise tag. Once he signed that tag, you can
Mhm,
it can be a sign and
correct.
trade.
But
Yeah,
most of the time, reason why I say I don't think it's going to be a trade is because if
yeah,
it was going to be a trade, they would have did an exclusive tag. That's the reason why I
yeah.
was thinking
Exclusive,
that.
right, right. You're right.
Yeah,
So
so
most
that's what I'm
times the
saying
franchise
because
tag says franchise tag for a reason.
hmm so
What Rock Jones
um
said.
He
he
said
said
we were
something
gang
about
cop fans. We
exclusive
be at
because of the
1,000
game concept.
already. Hey,
don't
Star
worry,
Heels,
don't
baby.
worry about it because the game. Hey, like I said, go Heels. We got a big
Yeah,
one today, man. Go
Damn
Heels,
you, Rock.
man.
man. But hey,
Rock
but you
made
know
me
what though?
cuss at him every
Real
time he
talk.
come on here.
I am pulling for Don Staley in the
The
Gamecock
game
girl.
cops.
So
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
difference.
yeah, most
That's the
I'm
difference.
definitely. I'm
yeah.
pulling for
We
them to
talking
go
about women.
undefeated.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
would
I'm
say
pulling
this.
for them to go undefeated.
I think the true wide receivers, and I think everybody was on this T Higgins train. I understand
hmm
why, but with Carolina having the 13th most cap space, that wasn't going to actually happen. So for me, I'm looking at it. I got you. I see that, Mr. Hunky Dory. I definitely got you. Um, I think I'll give you three options. I don't know if you saw it in the chat. I said Calvin
hmm
Ridley, Marquise Brown, and you got
Hmm.
Gabe Davis. Again,
Yeah.
I think what
Yeah,
people got to understand is with the wide receivers, we're setting ourselves up for either you get a wide receiver in free agency, and then that determines what type of receiver you get in the draft. And I'm gonna keep saying it. It's not
hmm
gonna be, you're not gonna get the same type of receiver in free agency and get the same type of receiver in the draft. If they want a bit body
Yeah.
receiver in free agency, they'll get it in free agency, and then they'll get the speedster in the draft. So it's almost like Batman and
yeah.
Robin. We're gonna tag one here in free agency,
Right,
and then get his cohort in the draft. So for me, it
right.
just
Because you don't
depends.
want two of the same type of players.
Facts,
Like
facts,
I
facts.
don't want two X wide receivers.
hmm So the other
Yeah.
thing too, I would say this on Tuesday. I think we'll get a lot of answers as well too, because that's when Dan Morgan and Dave Canales talk at the combine. The questions that you need to be heard
Right.
or answered with the Brian Burns. I think Brian
hmm
Burns maybe get a deal done while they're at the combine with that extra money. I think we will start seeing restructures next week. I think that will be reported by Dan Morgan as well. The cap number that I do think the max that we can get at is anywhere between, was it 58 to 60,000, and that would get us in the top 10 right now if nobody else does any restructures, which I know is not going to happen. But if you look at it at 58 to
But we did
60,000, go ahead.
60 million. You mean 60
Million?
million?
60 mil, my bad. Yeah, 60 mil.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think
Yeah, I ain't gonna
right
lie, I was like
there
1,000.
that will help. Yeah, my bad, 60 mil. That will help because again, nobody thought we would. That's an extra 17 mil in cap space that nobody was expecting. That was supposed to be when we did restructures 40 mil. You add that all
Mm,
the way up to possibly looking at around the 60 mark. That's really 20 mil because we're already at
mm,
40.2. So we can get all
Mhm.
the way to 60 mil. That's an extra $20 million in cap space that
yeah.
you can
Well,
get offensive
me and
linemen. I
CJ
know it's a
was
couple names that have been coming out. Go ahead. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Tony.
Go ahead. No, go ahead,
No,
Kai.
go ahead. I was just saying.
I need you get it all in. I need you get it all in.
No, I'm just saying, I love talking wide receivers, but I'm so skeptical because I need to see what Dan Morgan's gonna say their approach is.
Mm,
That's what I really
Okay,
need
well,
to know. And I
let
think
me ask you
Tuesday we
this.
will know the approach. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, and this is
Go ahead.
just strictly having to do with our list. If you
Hmm.
were Dan Morgan right now, and you
Hmm.
needed to add
Hmm.
a receiver in free agency, and you had the
Hmm.
opportunity to, who would you
Hmm.
take between T. Higgins and Mike Evans?
T. Higgins because of the youth, and we know Mike Evans is up there in age. I think with Mike Evans you get the good and the bad. He
mm,
can
What's
make
the
big
bad?
catches, but he'll make big drops. The drops. The drops. The drops.
T. Higgins. I
The
mean,
drops.
all receivers drop the ball. All receivers
But
drop
I
balls,
was
Doug. All
okay. So
receivers
I will say
drop
this.
balls.
Okay, so you remember when Mike Evans was open and he was open by himself and he dropped the ball and Tampa Bay could have scored
against us.
a touchdown last year.
Yeah.
Wide
Hmm.
open. So like I said, every receiver
Yeah.
drops the ball, but if you're wide open just by yourself and you drop a ball like that, that shouldn't happen. And then in his type of
Okay.
experience, it shouldn't happen. That's all I'm saying.
But in defense of Mike Evans, and like I said,
Hmm.
you brought up and you mentioned that one drop or whatever. But look at his
I give you Detroit.
production.
I give you Detroit too.
No,
Detroit in
no,
that
I'm
playoff
saying
game.
okay, but see, okay, here's my thing. What I'm saying is when I'm looking at him, and when I'm evaluating the player, I'm just looking at more than just one, two, three, four, even five plays. What was his
Mhm.
production last year? He had his best productive season last year running and playing in that Dave Canales offense. 13 touchdowns, had over 1,000 yards receiving, and I can't remember exactly how many catches. All I'm saying is he was still productive. He was more productive than T. Higgins was last year for Cincinnati.
That's a fact. No,
Hey,
no.
well, hold
I
on.
mean, now,
Let's take a look
go
at
ahead.
it. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we got my. Let's go skip to Mike Evans right here. All right,
Mhm.
6'5", 231 pounds out of Texas A&M, 2014. First round pick, number 7 by Tampa Bay. His stats from last year: 79 receptions, 1,255 yards, 13 touchdowns with a 15.9 yards per catch average. Okay. Career stats: 762 receptions, 11,680 yards, average of 15.3 yards a catch, 94 TDs with a long of 75.
So
All right.
I just I know what Tony's
Hold on.
getting at.
Doug,
If you're looking
you in the
at
bad spot. There you
Doug,
go. There you go.
You're in a bad
okay,
spot.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Okay, like I said, I'm in the woods, so
Go ahead.
like I said, I already know what that means. All right, so I'll say this: Mike Evans with the familiarity and Bjarni Dave Canales, yes, that's an automatic that we need to get him. But I'm looking at the longevity of it. Yes, Mike Evans, if you're talking about right now in a 2-year span, yes, take Mike Evans. But if you're looking at longevity like a 5-year, I'll take T. Higgins. But I do agree with what Tony's coming with, where he played underneath Dave Canales. He had one of his best years underneath Dave Canales. And it's not going to be, you have to re retool or you have to start back over with a wide receiver. Mike Evans, if he did come to Carolina, will already know the playbook. He can help the younger guys and etc. So I do
Mm,
agree with that point,
Right.
Tony. But I'm looking at it as longer than a 1 to 2 year type deal with Mike Evans. I think in longevity, I would take T. Higgins. If you're talking about a 2 to 3 year span, then yes, Mike Evans can do it.
okay.
Yeah. Because I mentioned earlier, me and CJ was talking before we went live. Because I was saying like with Mike Evans, he hasn't had no drop off. You know, it's not like he's on the downslide of his career. I mean, this dude
Yeah,
is still producing. So even like this may be his last big contract. Don't get me wrong, but if I can get
I
Mike
agree.
Evans if I can get him for 3 or 4 years, or at least 3 years
Hmm.
on the minimum, to me
Hmm.
that's still a big boost. That's
Correct.
still a big boost
Correct.
over getting T. Higgins or anybody else. Cause that right there, that's a bona fide number 1 wide receiver that's going to give you production. And he already
Correct.
know this offense. And for the fact that he can help the young, like CJ said, he can help the young guys come along in this offense. So that's
Correct.
Hmm.
that's the only thing I'm thinking with Mike Evans.
Yeah, I think the key in all this is if the Panthers decide that this is like a rebuild. Okay, if they're going into this is a rebuild, then Evans is probably not the pick here because, like Mr. Hunky Dory said we're building a 3 to 5 year roster. We need youth and talent. So if that's the road they're going. Evans might not be the choice just because of his age, but I do agree
Hmm.
with Tony in the fact that it's not like he's on the down. He's going downhill. He's not on. His
Correct.
he's still producing year after year. Now,
Hmm.
if you want to go, younger, okay, you get a T Higgins, or I mean, hell, even like Calvin Ridley. I mean, he just finished his 5th year. He's not near 30
Love
yet.
Calvin Ridley
You know what I mean?
and
But
Gabe Davis.
man, Gabe Davis, and then you go build through the draft. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
but yeah,
All right,
for
fella.
any team, it.
Go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead, Doug. No, go ahead,
No,
Doug.
I'm about to say we about to eat breakfast. So again, if you're
You're
still in the
seeing
chat,
up.
people, definitely go ahead and share. Can you hear me?
yeah, we hear you. Tony
Can you
just
hear
keep
me?
interrupting. Go ahead, Doug.
Oh.
Yeah, we hear you.
No, I said again, if y'all in the chat, share the video, like, comment, like again. Hopefully we can get these guys to 1,000 before the draft. I'm praying. Like I said, I'm gonna do everything in my being to get them to 1,000 before the draft. That'd be a great present to Tony and CJ.
That'd
A
be
great
lovely.
time. Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely, man. So like again, I appreciate y'all. I definitely had to come up. And even where I'm at, anytime the big brothers, big cousins are up, I gotta come support and definitely let everybody know they're doing a great job, man. And we need to get another Panther content creator to 1,000, man. Again, there's enough love for everybody across the platform, and these gentlemen right here support me
Already.
110,000%. So I appreciate it, man.
Hey, we appreciate you,
Appreciate you,
Dub, man.
man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
All right,
Appreciate you, Dub.
Doug.
All right. But yeah, and I haven't said this before, but yes, we're still on our goal to 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 947. So if you're in the chat and you're watching, you haven't already, hit that button for us and help us get to our goal. And we appreciate you. Okay. So we skipped the Mike Evans. We're talking about it with Doug. Now let's go. Let's go back to T. Higgins real quick. Okay, so he's gonna sum this one up with T. Higgins. As of now, reported he's being franchise tagged by the Bengals. Okay, and it looks
Right.
like the only way that we're gonna get him here is some kind of a trade situation. All right.
Right.
What would the Panthers be willing to give up for him? Who the hell knows right now? Okay, and like Doug said, we do need to hear from Canales and Dan Morgan, Tillis, and all of management to see exactly what direction that they are going in, because even with signing a wide receiver, Brian Burns' contract is just that cloud that's still looming over us as an organization, because that needs to be taken care of first. Okay, we need to take care of that
Exactly.
first, whether they are or they're not, and then that way we know what we'll have available to do with everybody else. Okay, but as of now, T.
I
Higgins
agree.
is franchised with the Bengals, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that I really don't see too much chance of him coming to Carolina. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I don't really see too much of a chance of that happening. Um,
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, it's really going to cost too much, and like I said, we're not in a position to pay the piper on that. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
he's definitely going to want he's going to want uh top wide receiver money, but
Yeah.
like you said, I don't think Cincinnati is going to be willing to let him walk. Because if Joe Burrow want him there, he'll be there.
He gonna be there. Exactly.
Right.
All right. Miss Hunky Doris said, "What is T Higgins' salary now, and what would he want?" Well, we don't know what he wants just yet, and I don't know
Right.
what his salary is, but he's still in
But
his
this
rookie
is
deal.
that's right. Still on his rookie deal. So,
Hmm.
when those guys come off those fourth and fifth years, especially, um, well, matter of fact, T Higgins is an unrestricted free agent this year because he was a second round pick, so he only had 4 years. So he's an
Okay.
unrestricted free agent. So I think his last year of his contract was around 3 million, if I
Mm,
remember right. Y'all, don't quote me on that. Chat, somebody can help us figure that out. But yeah, but regardless of what it was this year, what he's going to get. That's the thing. That's the thing.
yeah.
Somebody gonna have to pay him. Cincinnati gonna have to pay him or risk losing him.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't exactly
Yeah,
know Cincinnati's salary cap situation right now, but we'll get into that in another video. All right.
yeah.
So let's move on. We got Michael Pittman Jr. Okay. 6'4", 233 pounds, 223 pounds out of USC, 2020 second round pick, number 34 for the Colts. His stats from last season: 109 receptions, 1,152 yards, 4 touchdowns, average of 10.6 yards a catch. Hold on. All right, his career stats: 336 receptions, 3,662 yards, 10.9 yards per catch average, 15 touchdowns, and long of 75 yards. Okay, so since he was a second round pick, he doesn't have a fifth year option, does he?
No, he was
Okay,
the next pick after T Higgins
Higgins.
was in that same draft. T Higgins was pick 33. Michael
Mhm.
Pittman was pick 34.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So now, mind you, now this is another one for me that I feel like there's probably little to slim to none chance of him coming to Carolina. They just they drafted Anthony Richardson last year, and I don't think there's any way that they let their top receiver go, especially after he played a few games last year, got hurt, missed the rest of the season. This is a key piece for the coach that they're going to want to have back. So I do
right.
believe that whatever they need to do to sign him, they're going to sign him, whether it be a long term deal or a franchise tag. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah. I think the same thing. And this is a prime example, like we were just talking about, with Carolina, if they get a big body receiver in free agency, they're probably going to go for a slot receiver, in the
Mm,
draft. Where you look at this, when you got Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs, there are two different type of wide receivers. One's an inside slot receiver, one is an outside receiver. So they complement each other better. They're not
mm,
competing for the same position. They're gonna always be on the field at the same time. That's what you want to try to build in Carolina. You want to put the best players at their, position on the field, whether it's,
okay.
inside slot, outside lineman, running back. It doesn't matter. With Michael Pittman Jr., I think he has more of a pressing need to remain in Indianapolis than T. Higgins do in Cincinnati. I think T. Higgins staying in Cincinnati is more of a luxury. I think Michael Pittman Jr. staying in Indianapolis is more of a need.
Mm,
Okay. So that's why I believe he'll also be franchise tag. And even though he's a highly coveted free agent, I think Indianapolis, because of where they want to go, and they got Anthony Richardson coming back from his injury, they want
hmm.
to have all weapons available for him. So I think
Yeah.
I think he will. I think he will remain in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and it's kind of Chris said I take and pay that man. If you talking about Pittman, yeah, I take him too. But Anthony Richardson coming back. One thing you don't want to do is get rid of your top wide receiver. Kind of like another organization that we root
Right.
for did. When we got Bryce Young. But but I digress. But yeah, but I don't see the chances of him getting out of Indianapolis being very, very, very high. I think it had to be a situation where he is just completely unhappy, doesn't want to be there, and say if they would have franchised him, and then I don't know if he would just sit out, or see what happens. But I haven't heard anything about him being unhappy there, or any kind of reports to say anything otherwise. So I think the
Yeah, I was
Colts
just
can
going to
do
say the
everything they
same
can to
thing.
keep him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I agree
All
with
right,
you
but
on that.
yeah, but to sum up, sum up Michael Pittman Jr. I think the chances of him coming to Carolina are slim to none. Tony,
Slim to none.
all right,
So I
okay.
agree with you on
Now
that. We already
we
talked
talked.
about
We
Mike. Okay.
we talked about him, but what we didn't get into is the fact that some of the reasons why he might want to come to Carolina. Okay, and he's come out and said that he loves Dave Canales' scheme. All right, he said this is
Right.
the most wide open he's ever been in his career. Okay, and that's saying something because the man has not had a season in his career. All right, what is it, 10 years now that he's had
Yeah,
under a
10 years.
thousand yards receiving? Okay. And he said last year was the most wide open he's ever been in his career. Okay.
Yeah.
So if Canales can convince him to come to Carolina, he knows the offense. He's already settled in. I mean, he can come in, like I said before, he can come and be kind of like that bridge wide receiver. He can help everybody else in the wide receiver room to understand the offense. And like I said, he's still balling. At 30 years old, or
Right.
however old he is, 30, 29, 30. I think he's 30, right?
Yeah, I think he's 30 or 31.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
something like that.
whatever it is, he's still out here balling. Okay. He's no
Right.
slouch in any means. And I don't see
Just look
his
at his
career
production from last year. Like that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You
Like
know,
who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that?
thank you. Yeah, exactly. But then we did mention on here that he might be a target for the Texans. Okay, because like
Like
you said,
yeah.
Tony, he's from Galveston, Texas, which, if I'm not mistaken, is I'm not sure it's close to Houston, right?
Yeah, it's right. It's south of Houston, right there
Okay,
on the border.
yeah. So now,
Not on the
mind
border,
you,
but yeah, on the coast.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we're assuming that this is kind of a situation for Mike Evans where he's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm only going to do this for so many years. Maybe I'll go and be close to home and do it. Okay. Now,
Right. Right.
I hope that's not the case. It ain't got nothing to do with CJ
Right.
Stroud. Okay, let me get that out. It ain't got a damn thing to do with CJ Stroud. I'm happy that man is balling and doing and the brother can play basketball too. I saw him in the celebrity game. I ain't realized he could hoop like that. So shout out to CJ Stroud. But the only reason I say I hope that doesn't happen because if we can get him in Carolina, get him at a decent price, I'd be all for it. Okay, Tony, your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I put on there, he is from Galveston, Texas. And reason why I say I believe that'd be a 50-50 chance because yes, if he went to the Texas, he'll be closer to home. But to duplicate the to duplicate what he did last year, I think that would be beneficial if he come to Carolina because he already knows the offense. He knows
Mm-hmm.
exactly how Dave Canales will use him. Okay. I think he liked the fact last year that he was moved around,
Mm-hmm.
inside, outside. Sometimes you saw him as a number two receiver in a bunch set. It was like just different things, and they was creating mismatches to get him open. And I think he really liked that. So the fact that he knows the system, he knows the coach. He was happy in it. Probably had his most productive year as a Buccaneer playing in that
Mm-hmm.
system. That's why I give it a 50-50 chance. So do I want to continue padding my stats, playing good ball, go somewhere I know I'm gonna be the number one receiver and I know how I'm gonna be used, or am I gonna go close to home? This probably gonna be the last big contract of my career. They got a
Mm-hmm.
young stud quarterback in CJ Stroud, and that I can go play with for my last 3 to 5 years. So those are things you got to think about. Because if I'm not remember last year, there were some talks that him and management were kind of at odds because he wanted his contract extended last year, but
Mm.
they let that contract play out.
Okay.
And so hopefully we can tap into that and use that to our advantage. I never, you never know, but just strictly off production, just strictly off production. I know he was the number three, uh, unrestricted free agent, on the board. But to me, he's still the most productive. His production is not declining whatsoever. He's still at the top of his game. We can
Mm-hmm.
use that. Bryce Young can use that.
Yeah. And also, I would say that he would probably have to get some kind of assurances from Dave Canales that one, they got a plan for this offensive line, because in Canales' system he already talked about, he wants Bryce Young, get to the back of his drop back and be ready to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, because if he's Mike
Mhm.
Evans wide receiver, well, I was Mike Evans, and I'm coming to Carolina. I'm looking at last year's tape, and I'm just like, well, damn, if I'm going down the field and I'm at the end of my route and I look back, he's on the ground, I'm not coming to that, and that's every 2 or 3 plays. So that's something you got to think about too. They're going to
Yeah.
have to, somebody going to have to go out here with the gift of gab and talk to these folks, because right now
Yeah.
this is what I want to do. This is what my plan is. You have nothing on tape, no concrete evidence, nothing to show these people to say, you know what? This is what this roster can do. Okay, because you got the tape last year with Bryce Young as a quarterback, and as much as we defend Bryce Young and we still think that he can be a good quarterback, and last year was rough, but the tape was crap. The team was crap. So,
Right. But you also had the same tape with primarily the same starters from
mhm,
the second half of the season that we had with Steve Wilkes. So there's always a possibility that we can show, look, if we run in this scheme instead of a wide zone scheme, which I
mhm,
said at the beginning of the year, you need athletic linemen to run that type of scheme. We didn't have those type of linemen, you know.
yeah,
But hey, keep hope alive. But
mhm,
when if you show them the tape of when the last half of the season when we had Steve Wilkes, when we were able to play smash mouth, north south, football, play
mhm,
action, protect the quarterback, per se, and we were able to get the ball downfield. I think that'd be a plus. But then you also have to remember too, it's not only Dave Canales that came from Tampa. The offensive lineman
mhm,
came from Tampa. The quarterbacks coach came from
mhm.
Tampa, who will be the offensive coordinator this year. So there's a lot of familiar faces that he would have in Carolina that he had in Tampa. So
Okay,
I think just off that alone, and like I said, him knowing the system, knowing how these guys will be used, how they're going to be, how the team is going to operate in that system, I think he can form a decision based off of that.
okay, all right. Anthony Bryan said, "What's up, General? What's up, AB? How you doing, man?
What's up,
Welcome to the
AB?
welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. All right.
Yes,
Let me see.
yes,
We
sir.
go back through a couple comments here before we go. Um, Let me see. Mr. Uncle Dory said, I'll be happy to have Evans, but we still have to draft to replace him. I think a 3-year contract and most for him. Fourth year, he is working for ESPN. Oh, God.
Hey,
Hey, I wouldn't put it
all
past him.
that can be facts.
Yeah,
All that can be facts.
exactly.
And
Just
like I
Zoe
said,
says,
oh, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. I get back to it. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, like me and Dub were discussing,
Mm,
Yeah, you want your longevity to be with T. Higgins, 5-year contract because of youth, because of age with Mike Evans. Yeah, 3 years at the max. But that's to me, that's all you need for him from him
mm,
before
yeah.
the possibility of seeing his production decline. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, ain't too many 6'5", 231-pound running wide receivers out here um
that can run
running
like
routes
Evans.
and yeah, that can run like Mac Evans. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer, man. If we can
Okay.
get him, get him.
All right. Let me see. Just Zoe said, how many years y'all think Mike Evans has left in his prime? Well, shoot. In the next comment,
A
Miss
good
Hunky
a
Dory
good
said,
a good two,
I
three
say three.
years.
Yeah, I give him 3 or 4. I definitely give him
Yeah.
3 or 4. You know, because like I say, he hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. And even to me, even if he were to lose lose a step or two, you know, he's
Mhm.
still a good route runner. He still has great hands. He still high point the ball. You know what I mean? He makes
And still
plays.
a hell of a red zone target.
Exactly. Yep, 6'5". That's
Still a
all
hell
you
of a
need to
red
hear.
zone target.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Miss Hunky Dory said Evans is getting 16.5 mil per year, so we can give him
Yep.
18 mil for 3 to 4 years, no 5-year contract. I can accept that. I would accept that too. If they
I
did, but
would too.
what was his franchise tag number? Wasn't it like oh god, it was up there, wasn't it? If they were the franchise like 28 million?
I don't I don't remember. For wide receivers,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Uh,
But
It
I
was
don't
it was
think
something up
no
there.
one is gonna give him, 20 to 22 million, 23 million
Hmm.
at the most. I like I said, I think he's worth that. And all you have to do is just
Yeah.
look at his production.
Hmm.
Match his money to his production.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Zoe said Canal's plan seems to be get the ball out quick. He kept emphasizing the importance of having the ball out in 2.7 seconds. Yes, he did. He sure
It's
did.
a rhythm offense. It's a rhythm
Hmm.
offense. When you hit that top of your drop, that back foot, when you stick that back foot in the ground at the top of your drop, get the ball out. That's the plan.
Hmm. Chris said O line was banged up. Yes, they were.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
that's
yes,
an
they were.
understatement.
We talked about that during our mock draft, and if y'all haven't checked that out, you can check out the whole live stream from Wednesday, and I also did a condensed version by 8 minutes long if you want to skip through all the fluff. But we were talking about that too, about the of number of players that we had come through on the offensive line, mainly at the guard spots. I mean, we had Zavala, Nash Jensen, Justin McCray, Gabe Jackson. Am I missing somebody? I get to feel like I'm
Bill
missing somebody.
Bill Toth. Bill
Oh,
Toth.
that's right, Toe. And then we had
Yeah.
what's my man from
The guy that came from the Saints and
from
then we
Saints?
released him.
Yes, I can't remember his name, but
Yeah, that
not
went to
Zimmerman,
Tennessee.
but Throckmorton,
No,
Calvin
that's him.
Throckmorton.
Yeah,
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 Calvin
Throckmorton.
Throckmorton. Yeah, they called him Throckmorton down there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the offensive guard spot was just a revolving door, and like I keep saying, that plus new scheme coming in from Dave Canales might just be the recipe that the offensive line needs to get back, where they need to be. And all the reports that there was all this dysfunction in the coaching staff. Camping was a mole, and it was like when he came in the room, everybody got up and left, and just stuff that I can't confirm any of this, but if it was to
Right.
be the case, that's a hell of an environment to work in. So you never know. All right. Said only scary thing is a lot of these coaches first year in major roles. Yeah, but we'll
No,
we'll see.
I wouldn't say that's scary. Because these guys have been in the NFL, so they know the NFL. It's not like they coming straight from college. You know what I mean? These guys have been in the NFL, have coached in the NFL for a long time. Now, Dave Canales has never been a head coach, but he has been in the NFL. Got what, 12 years under Pete Carroll. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, hey, we just have to wait and see, man. We just have to
Yeah.
the unknown can be scary. I can say that.
Jeff Barber, how you doing, man? He said David Tepper did a better job building Chicago Bears than the Panthers. Oh God.
Damn,
Well, I can't. I
damn.
can't. I can't disagree with that. Thank you for the
I
comment,
can't
Jeff.
disagree. I
Oh
don't want
my
to
goodness.
acknowledge it, but I can't disagree neither.
I know. I know. Don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn,
But
Jeff.
hey.
You had to do that, Jeff? Just like that?
I mean,
Golly.
but the way it's looking is the truth. I mean, we gave them a number one wide receiver. We're about to give them a number one quarterback, or shoot, a number one, another, potential number one wide receiver. So hey.
Yeah. But Just Zoe said Houston had a lot of first year coaches in major roles last year. That seemed to work out well. Facts, Joe. I mean
Hmm.
Just Zoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Hit
definitely
call me Joe.
facts.
Yeah,
Yeah, my bad.
it's all good.
My bad.
All right. But okay,
Hey,
so
what we got?
sum up Mike Evans. I would say I'm you know what? I'm gonna be optimistic here for the first time in a few months. I'm gonna say maybe it's a 50-50 shot we get Mike Evans in Carolina.
I think so. I think it's a
Yeah.
50-50.
I mean,
I
a
think it's a 50,
50-50
but
shot.
just for those two reasons that I stated. One, he knows the scheme.
Hmm.
Dave Canales was his offensive coordinator last year. Probably one of his most productive seasons as a pro. So when you have all those things playing into your favor, the head coach knows you. So that can
Hmm.
be a selling point. That can be a selling point.
Okay. Facts. All
Yeah.
right.
Because
Now,
I'll be asking him, listen, you want Baker throwing the ball or you want Bryce Young?
well, hey, let me tell you, that's a loaded question. Because if you ask Panther Nation that, you gonna get a whew, boy. Let me tell you, half of them be like, "Bring Baker
Mm.
back."
Yeah, I ain't heard nobody
So,
say that. So even if they did, I would ignore that. But
man,
let's
let
go.
me tell you, I know there's a lot of people out there right now that would say if you could choose between Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young, they'd be like they'd rather have Baker Mayfield. So, but
Yeah,
not me, not us. I don't think, but I'm
yeah.
sure there's some. All right.
I'm not even gonna comment on it. Let's go.
All right, moving on. Okay, at number 4 we have Marquise Hollywood Brown. Okay, 5'9", 180 pounds out of Oklahoma. 2019 first round pick 25. His stats from last year: 51 receptions, 574 yards, 4 touchdowns, 11.3 yard per catch average. Career stats: 313 yards, 3,644 yards. 313 receptions. My bad. 3,644 yards, 28 touchdowns, and long of 83. Okay. And he just completed his 5th year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Now,
Just completed his 5th year.
okay. Now, what are your pros and cons for Hollywood here?
The pros is naturally his speed. His speed and and some ability as far as route running.
Mm,
Because when Marquise came out of Oklahoma, he didn't come out running the full route tree. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
He's not an expert, or consistent enough running the full route tree because at Oklahoma, he just ran by everybody. You know what I mean? He got that type of speed. But
yeah.
to me, it didn't translate all that well in the NFL.
Mm,
I don't view Marquise Brown as a number one wide receiver.
okay.
Just based off his stats, watching him play, there's nothing that says to me that he could be a number one wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. I don't think he's better. He's not to me, he's not better than Adam Thielen,
Mm,
honestly. Right now.
okay.
People can talk about speed all day long. it's about more than just speed. You can have all the speed in the world, but if you don't know how to utilize it, it don't mean nothing in the NFL. And the NFL has shown us time and time and time again with all these quote unquote world class speedsters, fastest guys
Hmm.
in the league. But where are they now? Outside of Tyreek Evans, Tyreek Hill, what other true legitimate burner that's in the league like Tyreek Hill? None. The ones that had this kind of speed, they have fizzled out. Honestly and truly, it's
Hmm.
more about speed in the NFL. To me, I ain't gonna go on about Marquise Brown. I just don't think he's a number one wide receiver, and I don't think that would be a good pickup for Carolina. Because just like I mentioned before, just like when you talk about Brian Burns, most of these guys, especially coming off that rookie contract, they trying to get the bag. They're trying to get as much money as they possibly can. All right.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah.
have to ask yourself as a franchise, are you willing to pay whatever that wide receiver is asking for? And two, is he worth what he's asking for? Because what he think of himself and what you think of him, 9 times out of 10 is gonna be two different evaluations. So who evaluation is true? You know?
Okay. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you here. Okay. Now, I didn't talk about
Okay.
Marquise Brown much. Now, I agree. Don't really see him as your typical, number one receiver. All right. And as just Zoe commented down here, he said, I see a lot of NFL analysts predicting we sign Hollywood in free agency. His injury history is kind of scary though. Facts. Now
That's
I've been
facts.
harping about bringing people in who have injury history and all that, but but okay, if like you said, Tony, what's his value against what his value is perceived to be by NFL teams? If he can come in, if we can get him on a friendly contract number, okay, he's not a bad wide receiver if he can stay healthy. All right. And you pair that, and we always talk about somebody with speed, like you said, Oklahoma, he can run by anybody. All right. But the
Hmm.
way that the Panthers are set up, Cat, we re-sign Brian Burns, if they extend Derek Brown and re-sign Frankie Louvu, okay, so that's three free agents, two free agents, and Derek Brown going into his 5th-year deal, okay. Depending on how that all plays out and how much money that takes up from the cap, Hollywood may be a good option if he goes out there and he throws out, hey, I'm worth so and such, and nobody comes back and responds and says, okay, we feel like you're worth that. Everybody shoots him a number like, you think you're worth this, we think you're worth this. You know what I mean? So it might be
Hmm.
one of them deals. Maybe we might be one of them situations that we could get him on a friendly contract. So, but that would be my only kind of situation for bringing him in. But like you said, I do agree. Don't see him as that number one wide receiver target that the Panthers want, because we gave away our number one wide. Well, not gave away. We traded away our number one wide receiver to the Bears last year to jump up and pick Bryce Young. So we do have to replace him. But if we can't get one of these other guys, you know, Marquise Brown may be an option, and it may come at the right price. So
Maybe. Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the sum brown up, I'm going to give the same with Evans, 50-50 shot. What you
Mm.
think?
Yeah. I'm a slightly disagree for the simple fact I
Hmm.
don't want Marquise Brown.
Well, then
let,
you fully
let
disagree.
me
Don't
just say.
slightly disagree with me. You fully disagree.
Yeah. For me personally, in my opinion, I yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
Marquise Brown is not an option for me. He's not an
Okay.
option for me.
All right. I
Yeah.
got you. Let me roll back through some of these comments here. Some of these are going back to when we was talking about Evans. Jeff Barber said, I'm gonna be honest. I think the best wide receiver we can realistically land is Tyler Boyd and Gabe Davis. Rock Jones said, guys, I think we got it right in Evero and Canales. The key will be Morgan's drafting Perilous.
perilous.
Okay. I I think that is absolutely right. The key is going to be what Morgan does in the draft. Okay. And I said this
Yeah,
before, and
yeah.
people are like, well, we don't have to hit on every single player. I think this is a year we have to hit on every single player that we draft from pick number 33 all the way down to 7th round to pick number 180. We need to hit. All these guys need to come in and make some kind of a contribution. If it ain't nothing but, causing a fumble or, something on special teams, blocking the kick out, whatever. They
But
all got to come
what,
in and make in my opinion. Go ahead.
now, what is the reality of that happening?
It's
Like,
it's slim. It's slim. It's
right,
slim. I,
right,
I know it is, but that's just how I feel on the situation.
right.
You know what I mean? That's just how I
Yeah,
feel on it. To me,
right,
they,
right.
they they need to hit every last one. I'm not saying that every last one of them has to be a bona fide superstar in year one, but they got to come in here and do something. Okay, they got to
Yeah,
come in here and do
I
something.
got you.
Yeah,
We have seen our fair share of blunders with draft picks, especially in the past 3 to 4 years. Outside of the first round, maybe
mhm.
no, the second round ain't really been too good neither.
we we
Because
we be-
Jeremy
we might
Chin
be
hasn't
doing
really panned out,
we might be doing the
you
word
know.
blunder a disservice.
Right.
I'm serious. You say blunder as far as some of the picks that we've had. If
Yeah,
blunder had feelings, I think they'd be hurt right now. we it's just been a mess, man. It's been a total mess.
yeah.
Uh,
I feel you.
the-
I feel you. I just want to see Dan Morgan, man, come in, have a good, solid draft. Draft the type of players that he feel
mhm,
fits the Carolina Panthers keep pounding culture. The type of
fact.
players that he envisioned playing with when he was playing. Okay.
Mhm,
So that's why I said I like the hire of Dan Morgan because you got a football guy now making football decisions. So when he's evaluating talent, when he's watching film, when he's at the
mhm,
pro day and he's watching these guys work, then he has the opportunity to speak with them,
mhm,
to check their mental, their intelligent level, what have you. He knows what he's looking for. He knows what he's looking for. So just for that, I give him a leg up in his new position because I believe he's going to bring us exactly that is the he's going to bring us exactly the type of players that we as fans want to see on
mhm.
Sunday.
Kind of like John Lynch out in
And
San Fran, right?
Dan I trust. Yeah. Just like John Lynch. I'm
Okay,
gonna
and
give
and,
me
and
an
Dan we trust.
and Dan we trust t-shirt. I'm about to get I'm gonna do something with that.
Look, I don't know if my wife is watching this right now, but honey, if you are, and damn, we trust. Go ahead and put that on a t-shirt for me. We'll
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
once we
Yeah,
get
hook
the
that up
merch
for
store
us.
up, we'll
Yeah.
put it on there. And damn, we trust. Yeah, we gotta do that one. All right, let me
Right.
see. Jeff Barr also said Mike Evans met his girl and had his kids in Tampa. He is a legend over there. I can't see him leaving to join us. You know what? That's something that you got to take into account too. All right.
Yeah, I didn't
Let
know
me
that, but
see.
that's something that would definitely
Yeah.
play a
If
factor. Yeah.
if we are being brutally honest, Bryce Young is not an attractive QB to play with. You know what? I'm not gonna disagree with that. As of right now, Bryce Young is not somebody that these receivers are looking at and saying, you know what, I got to come and play for this young man. Okay,
So
I'm agree with that for right now.
here's my pushback on you and Jeff.
All right,
My only question is why?
just look at the tape.
Why?
Tony,
Okay.
look,
So
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Look at the tape. The tape speaks for itself for what happened last year. Now we all agree there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that went into that. Okay, but right now there's not
Mhm.
a whole lot that you can go and look at from last year, and you're a wide receiver, and you say, you know what, I got to go get some of that. I got to go be a part of that.
But when, like you said, when you watch the tape, or
Mm-hmm.
when you watch the tape and you come to that conclusion, like you just
Mm-hmm.
said, there's a lot of factors that play into that, right? A
Yeah.
whole lot of factors. And we have
Whole
said
lot.
time and time again throughout the season, it wasn't all Bryce's fault. It was some,
Mm-hmm.
there were some moments, there were some times that you can
Mm-hmm.
point the finger at him, put the blame on him. But
Mm-hmm.
to say I don't want to come play for that, play with that quarterback, or I don't want to come play with that team, or I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to come play in that offense. I think that would be more of a true evaluation as to just sit there and look at Bryce and say, despite all that he went through as a team as a whole, and say, I don't want to come play for that guy. I don't think that's right. This is
That
my
might
opinion.
not be. Yeah, I know that might not be right, and I know that's your opinion. But you gotta look at the number of Panther fans that just look at Bryce Young and say he is garbage. Just because they don't care that the offensive line was trash. They don't care that the receivers didn't get open. They don't care that the scheme was terrible. They don't care about none of that. They look at Bryce Young and they see complete hot garbage. They see bust. They see everything else, and we don't know. We don't know any of these people personally, so we don't know
Mhm.
that what we've said over the past season, on our channel, that might not resonate with them. They might agree with part of Panther Nation. They may look at him and be like, "Nah, player, I seen all I need to see. I ain't going
Mm,
over there." That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
You know, so
Okay,
we,
I
we,
hear
we
you.
don't we don't know what we
I
don't
hear
know
you.
where everybody's mental is at. So yeah, you know what I
I
mean?
got it.
Now, I agree with you. I agree with you. It was not all Bryce Young's fault. Okay. Now he was to blame for a lot of things, but it wasn't all his fault. But like I said, we don't think we can't we can't think for other people. Okay. We can sit here
No,
and
no,
talk till we
yeah,
blue in the face, but there might be some cats out there. Hey,
yeah.
whatever's
Yeah,
on the surface, that they take that for what it is. They might not do no diving into, well, let me go look at this and this and this. They might say, oh, he had so and so. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going somewhere else. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm,
but
okay. All right.
hope that's why I keep saying, hopefully somebody in this organization has the gift of gab and can talk these players here. Take them down to the new restaurant uptown. Take them down to STK. Get them one of them pricey steaks. Something. All right.
We'll
So
see.
did
All
we
right.
did we sum up Brown? Did I say 50-50 on Brown?
Yeah, you said 50-50 on him like on Mike Evans. I
Oh,
said I don't
that's
want
right. And you just said hell no, you don't want him. Okay, gotcha.
him.
Hey, look, Chris said better be Alabama tape. Hey, I mean, right
I
now, that's the
I
best
think
tape he
I
got
think
out
that's a
there.
fair I think that's a fair evaluation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best tape he got out there. It's going to be like, okay, this is the potential. Last year was what it
When
was, but go back and look at
yeah,
this.
hey, but you know what? That is a great point Chris made out. If you want to
Hmm.
know or get a good idea of what Bryce Young can be, look at what he can be when he has offensive line and he has time to deliver the ball. We even seen it
Hmm.
last year in our own offense as much as we sucked as a team. When he
Yeah.
had time to sit back in the pocket and deliver the ball, he was dropping dimes. I think it was a
Hmm.
stat that PFF Panthers put out last year when he had time in a clean pocket to step up and deliver the ball, he completed 80% of his passes.
Hmm. And I
So,
will say this. Now, we talk about having time. Every play is not meant for him to sit back there for 3 to 4 seconds and wait for somebody to get open too. Now mind you, the play
right,
calls for a quick slant and there's 1-2. He drops back and he's supposed to let go of the ball. If that receiver's not open, he can't throw it to him. Because one thing I
right.
will say is he had some bad throws. He had 3 pick sixes and it looked bad. But I think if Bryce Young would have hauled off and threw a lot of them passes that he really wanted to, he probably would have had 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah. But all right. So again, to sum up, Brown, I think it's a 50-50. Tony said, don't let this man cross the border into North Carolina. All right, let's move on.
I oh, you got me. I'm gonna let you have that one. Um, you snuck that one in on me. That's cool.
Yeah, hey, no, I'm sorry, cuz. I'm sorry, cuz. All right. And number 5, Calvin Ridley. Okay. 6'1", 190 pounds out of Alabama. 2018 first round pick, number 26 for Atlanta. We've seen a lot of tape of him over the years against the Panthers. Last season, he had 76 receptions, 1,016 yards, 8 touchdowns with an average of 13.4 yards a catch. His career stats: 324 receptions, 4,358 yards, 36 touchdowns with a long of 75. Okay, now this he just completed his 5th year, but he did have the 1 year where he was suspended, right? Before he went to
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
that 1 year didn't accrue. He didn't
Okay,
get.
gotcha.
That's why he said 2018.
Mm-hmm.
This technically he just played his 5th year because that 1 year that he was suspended didn't accrue as a full year because he wasn't active. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hold on. Let me. I just seen this comment right here from Jeff Barber. He says, "Just wondering, would y'all take Bryce over Stroud, AR, Caleb, or May?" Now I don't know if this is your first time checking this out, but when the draft was going on last year and all the pre-draft stuff, we were Team Stroud. We wanted the Panthers to pick Stroud.
Yes.
Okay, because we
Yes,
liked
we were.
everything we saw from Stroud, and there was not going to be this whole question of his size. Okay, so
Right.
we were Team Stroud the entire time. Now, mind you, with that, we always said that if they did take Bryce Young, we wouldn't have any issues with that because we thought he was a decent quarterback. Now, we did feel like Stroud was the better prospect. So yes, if we could go back and do it over again, yes, we would take CJ Stroud. But we have Bryce Young now. He's a quarterback, and I don't think he is as bad as a lot of people, think he is. I do think he can be pretty
Right.
good. All right.
Right. I
But
agree.
all right. I saw that comment. I didn't want to forget it and come back to it later. But getting back to
Right.
Calvin Ridley here. Just like the other ones, one of the reasons why he's looking to get paid and what is his true value. Okay. So Tony, go ahead and give your thoughts on Mr. Ridley.
I like Ridley, man. I like Ridley when he was at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people at the time was comparing Jerry Judy, saying that he was going to be the next Calvin Ridley, which if you look at them, they almost look similar. But
Mm-hmm.
what I loved about Calvin Ridley, he got the speed and he know how to utilize his speed. That's one thing he's an extraordinary route runner, a natural hands catcher. He could take the top off of defense, or he know how to sit down in the zone. He know how to come
Mm-hmm.
across the middle, snatch the ball out the air. I love everything about Calvin Ridley's game. His size,
Mm-hmm.
height, weight, the speed, the production. I mean, this man set out a full year, came back last year over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns with 76
Mm-hmm.
receptions. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Did he play
And
the
they
whole
were
season
gangsters.
or did he miss a few games?
I don't remember if he missed, if he did maybe like one or two, because I had him on my fantasy football league. So I
Yeah.
think it was like 1 or 2 games maybe he missed. Because I do
Okay.
know there were some games where he only had maybe like 1 or 2 receptions because they were double teaming him, taking him
Mm-hmm.
out the picture pretty much. But overall, his production speaks for itself. And he's still young. He's still young. He's someone that can come in. He can be a number one wide receiver. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? He's the one that I
Okay.
really feel that can come in and be that number one wide receiver. And he probably not gonna cost you as much it would if you went after T. Higgins or Michael Pittman Jr. or hell, even Mike Evans.
Okay. And that's what I was
What you
going to be my next. That was going to be my next question because I agree with everything you said. I love his hands. I love his ability to catch the ball. He is a great route runner. Like you say, he can take the top off defense. but difficult catches. Okay. He's made a lot of difficult catches against the Panthers, especially in his days in Atlanta. But he can make those difficult catches. He can run the entire route tree. And that's what I like about Calvin Ridley. Now what I was going to
Yeah.
ask you is now mind okay, his career stats, 4,300 yards, 36 touchdowns. Okay, now mind you, he was drafted in 2018. Do you think that he wouldn't command as much as say like T. Higgins or Pittman or maybe not let's say Mike Evans, but Hollywood and all these boys, you think we could really get him for cheaper than any of the rest of them?
When you say cheap, like how cheap?
I'm
I
sorry,
can't remember
cheaper.
what is the franchise tag for wide receivers? You still got that up?
No, I do. Oh, hold on. Yes, I do. Wait a
Mm.
minute. Let me see here if I can pull it up. Free agents.
Because he's not going to command $30 million a year. That's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase,
Mm-hmm.
territory. But for Calvin Ridley, you talking about a number one wide receiver that you're going to get production out of. That's going to be productive, in my opinion. I think he's worth 20 to 22, 23 million a year, and that's
All right.
below the current market value for wide receivers.
Hold on. Let me pull it up here. I had his name, then I messed up.
Look
Okay.
who's in the building. Look
They're
who is
saying,
finally in the building.
hold on, they're saying his market value, 4 years, $68.2 million, average salary of $17 million a year.
Yeah, I give it to him. I give
Yeah.
I give it to him, dog. I give it to him.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
talking
making
about
true money. What's up?
making true money? What's going on, my boy?
Mm. He said T. Higgins franchise tag was almost 20 million. Mm.
Okay,
But you know what
so
though? I'd pay that gladly though.
yeah, yeah, really 22 mil 4 years.
Yeah. They're saying
I
four
don't
years,
see
68 million
I don't
dollar
see
contract.
him. But you know what? I could say I don't see him get more T Higgins, but when you look at it, even though because the thing for T Higgins was he wasn't the number one wide receiver in Cincinnati last year. Okay, that's Jamar Chase hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin really split number one wide receiver last year in Jacksonville with Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They really spread the ball around between Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get 70, 75 receptions, 1,000, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns a year, I
22 is
think
my
that
bad.
is I think that is good for a number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think that is good for a number one wide receiver.
Yeah. Look, let me tell you, we take it here.
Yeah,
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 we definitely take it here. But if you think about a combination of Calvin Ridley, Adam Thielen, okay, we still don't know Mingo. Okay. I didn't get enough from him from this rookie year to say, okay, he's great at this, he's not so good at that. He needs to improve. He needs to improve on a lot of things to me. But his
right.
route running, his catching, all the above. But I do think the potential is there for Mingo. Okay. So, but think about a
Mm.
receiver room with Ridley, Thielen, Mingo. I think they brought back Ismir Marset. I probably Smith Marset. My bad.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, he,
ISM.
yeah, he's a burner. You seen him on the trick play, touchdown and whatnot. Um,
Right.
and and this may be an unpopular opinion, okay? But I say you bring back Terrace Marshall Jr. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I still think there is something there that hasn't been brought out by the right people. Okay, y'all can
I'm with you.
y'all can
You
tell me
already
off
know.
this one. Yeah, I
You,
say we make a good give the good old college try, put in some effort with Terrace Marshall Jr.
and
because for most of the
he's still on
season
his
he was
rookie
a healthy
contract.
scratch. Thank you.
And he's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
So when we talking about a cheaper option that has the potential to bring good value, he
Mm-hmm.
has that potential. I just believe that. Maximize that rookie contract. Maximize that rookie contract.
Mm. Let me see. Ms. Hunky Dory said Calvin really signed a 4-year, $10 million contract with the Falcons, including a $6 million signing bonus, $8 million guaranteed, and average salary of $2.7 million.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Hunky Dory out here, he out here in his research bag, ain't
Man, hey, let me tell you, boy. It's like he in the back cave, but he
he?
down there.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, Miss Hunky Dory, as always.
Yeah, for
We
real. Now
appreciate
we
you.
appreciate you, my man.
Just Zoe said Mingo was third worst at getting open last season according to PFF. DJ Chark was 10th. Poor Bryce. Yeah, and okay. And just so I will say this, and I've said this again too. I think a lot of that had to do with the scheme that they were running. Okay. Now you have to put your fair share of this on the player and their ability to come in and out of their breaks, hesitation, putting their foot down, getting open. All right. But I don't think that the Panthers did them any favors in helping them get open with the kind of schemes that they were running too. All right.
Right,
So
right,
if you get new wide receiver coach in there, somebody to work with them and show them the little ins and outs and nuances and stuff. You get somebody in there like a Calvin Ridley who might be able to part his knowledge on some of these players. Okay. And
right.
you bring in the different scheme, like Mike Evans said, he's never been this wide open in his career than he was last year with Dave Canales. So like we keep like I keep saying, it's speculation. All right. But the potential may be there. Who oh Lord, go ahead and put it on the screen.
I ha I haven't seen nobody say they cook lima beans in about 40 years. Dang, do people still eat that? Come
Man,
on,
llama
Mr.
beans are
Hunky
the
Dory.
joint, man.
Nah, man, he bull jiving. He bull jiving. He
Man,
pulling my leg. You
some
know he
llama
got
beans
jokes
and
for
some mashed
days,
potatoes
man.
with some green
He
peas.
man,
Boy,
that's the nastiest shit in this world.
man, don't
Mm-mm.
make me you off the screen, man. I'll do the rest of this shit by myself.
Man, no, no.
Man,
Uh, oh,
hey, man,
man,
don't
I think I'm gonna be sick.
hey, don't let Liella hear you say that, man. Oh
Listen,
goodness, let me tell you, lima beans is a joint. All
I'm
right,
gonna,
but we
I'm gonna
digress.
tell grandma, hey, I'm going
look,
down to
look,
Hardee's. Man, damn that.
look. I look. Just so say, I love lima beans. Facts,
Hey,
facts.
hey, you see he lying. That's why he crying laughing. Zoe know he lying. He know
Wow.
damn well he'll eat no lima beans.
He said, my Mikey Truman said my great grandma made all kinds of beans and they used to hit. Facts,
Yeah.
facts.
I ain't saying they used to hit, but my grandmama used to make them too. I used to hate them things. Lima beans, pinto beans, that they would make me throw up.
Oh
10
wow.
seconds in my system and they coming right back up. I can't do it. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Cannot do it.
Well, I ain't mad
Y'all
at you
can
for
have
that, cuz. I ain't mad at you for that. All right. Well, let's
yeah. I'm
let's go
going
ahead and
straight.
sum up Calvin
I'm leaving Grandma in the yellow house. I'm going straight to Hardee's. Man, damn that.
Boy, that damn
I'm
party's
going
down there
straight
been a
to Hardee's.
staple in the community for a long time.
You don't know? You don't know? Drive down there with my eyes closed.
Hey, it's funny though. I'm going off topic here, but now I live in Charlotte, and there are a lot of Hardee's around here. And I promise you, when you go to, there's nobody in the parking lots. You on a good day, you might see 2 cars in the parking lot at Hardee's, and it's probably the employees. Okay, but if you go to that Hardee's in Supply, North Carolina, that joker is jumping 24/7.
Like a Chick-fil-A. like a
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. I swear it is jumping.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Look,
jumping.
we from the country, folks. So a lot of the stuff that's been up here in the city, our people are just getting it back home because they just built the Chick-fil-A down in the next town over. But all right, but let me get back on topic here. Calvin Ridley. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna give it, a little more than 50-50. I'm gonna say 60-40.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I would love for it to be 75%. That would make my
Mm-hmm.
heart feel good. I hope somebody in Panther Nation is listening to this
Mm-hmm.
and they take it as a possibility, look into it,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate it. But I would love to see Calvin Ridley in a Panthers uniform.
Okay. Look, Zoe said Hardee's is only good for breakfast. Look,
Hold up, Hunky
Miss
Dory
Hunky
said he
Dory
from
says
Shiloh.
said from Shiloh. Well, I'll be damn.
Boy, don't do that.
Well, I'll be
Don't do
damn.
that. Yeah,
Hey,
Mr.
you never
Hunky
know
Dory,
where
I
everybody
family
from.
Brunswick County.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Shiloh,
that's where our
Supply,
dads grew up in
Bolivia.
Supply. Yep,
Yeah.
that's all right. 910.
The Bryants are well known, very established in Supply and Shiloh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Fullwoods, Hankins. Yeah.
All
I ain't
love.
finna go down the
Yep.
family tree. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get you get the rolling, man. All right, let me take this off here. Okay, so that was our, sort of evaluation of the top five unrestricted free agents, um, in free agency for the wide receiver spot. Before we get out here,
Hmm.
I did want to talk about one more thing, Tony. There was an article by Panthers Wire, and if anybody in the comments, if y'all have seen this, please chime in. I forgot the name of the writer, but they said that the Panthers should trade Derek Brown. Said that would be said that would be an option. Panthers said if this is a full rebuild, you're gonna get your most value out of trading Derek Brown. Let's say you can get that first round pick back this year. Maybe get another first round pick for him next year or something. Okay. Now I know you probably know what I'm going to say about this, but let me just for shits and giggles, how you feel about that as an option?
You want the mature answer or you want the angry fan answer?
Give me the angry fan answer.
Man, that reporter lost his damn mind. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Okay, I'm sorry. Why in the hell would he suggest some
uh,
bullshit like that? Man, ain't nobody
what?
trying to trade Derrick Brown. Man, I don't care. I don't want okay. So cause I don't want
Hold
to go
on.
off on
Let
a
me
tangent. I'm a
go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna bring the article.
oh I say let me go back to being the mature let me think of this in a mature way. I understand it from a business standpoint because when you look at Derrick Brown, you know he's going to command the type of money that he's going to command when he hits the open market. Coming off his Pro Bowl year, his best year thus far as a Panther. But on the downside, I mean, on the flip side of that, he's really and truly your only anchor that you have on the defensive line. It to me, it doesn't make good sense to trade him and Brian Burns. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying that that has been something that people have put out there as possibilities. If you're going to do it, trade one or the other, but not trade both. That I wouldn't do it. Derek Brown, if I'm not mistaken, he was drafted in 2020. So
Mhm.
2020, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, he's
Going in
getting
his
ready to
fifth year.
go into he's going to next year will be his fifth year. So the best thing for Carolina would be is to give him an extension this year because the last year of his rookie contract will be part of that extension, which helps you
Hmm.
spread the cap hit out So say if you give him a 5-year deal, or say you give him a 4-year deal, but that cap hit would be spread out over 5 years because it would get the last year of his rookie contract and then the 4-year contract. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Okay, let me
But
let me
I
go ahead.
yeah, I
Go ahead.
just
My bad.
yeah, yeah. Dang it,
Oh, let
fan.
me
Dang it, fan. Man, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Don't do it.
hey, look, let me bring up the article real quick, okay? And let me switch this back. All right, so it said NFL analyst believes Derek Brown the Panthers should trade Derek Brown this offseason. Okay, NFL writer Adam Rank recently named a handful of top stars who he believes should be shipped away this offseason.
Pause.
And
Pause.
mm-hmm,
Did you say Adam Rank?
mm-hmm. That's
Man,
all
I
you
don't
need
take
to
shit.
hear,
He says, yeah, that's all I need to hear. Go ahead. Continue. I
hey,
can't. I mean, hell no, man.
included in the bunch, which
I'm gonna mute
also
my
features
mic
the
because you
likes.
over here cussing. I don't want to interrupt
Oh,
you.
hold on, look. It says with the likes of Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, as well as old friend in Hassan Reddick, Carolina Panthers defensive tackle Derek Brown. Okay, he said Brown is a solid piece, and you could reason that he should be considered the anchor for a young defense. But his contract is up after the coming campaign. Do you see the Panthers, fresh off a 2-15 disaster of a season, legitimately competing in 2024? The Panthers, who gave up a whole bunch to secure Bryce Young's services in last year's draft, including their first round selection this April and second rounder in 2025, need to restock the draft coffers with picks. Okay. So what what you think, Tony?
Understand his logic,
Mm-hmm.
but there are other pieces. There's other ways to accumulate draft picks. Okay, you don't have to go out and trade your two studs on
Mm-hmm.
defense just to get some draft picks.
Yeah.
I don't think Carolina is going that way because to me, that would be the opposite of everything that Dan Morgan said he was looking for in the press conference. You talking about wanting dogs? Why would you go out and trade your biggest dog
Your
away?
biggest dog. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Facts.
that don't make great logical sense. I know Adam Rank is a Chicago Bears fan. He would love for Carolina to trade Derek Brown or Brian Burns
To
to
the
Chicago
Bears.
Bears. Yeah. So, listen, I take what Adam Rank said with a grain of salt. He always throwing shit out there and see what can stick against the wall. But no, I think there's other ways you can acquire draft capital without having to give up your two best players on defense. One,
Okay.
I can understand it, but
Both. Yeah.
two, nah. I don't, I
Okay.
don't, I don't think you have to do it. I don't think you have to do
Yeah.
it.
I wonder if he was saying instead of trading Burns, you re-sign Burns and trade Brown. But even
Say that
even
again.
still, I said I wonder if he was saying you keep Burns but trade Derek Brown. But either way, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't
And
do
hold
it.
on, and for this simple reason, right here, make it true money. Every time a player leaves up, they go ball for a good team. Facts. Facts. And I don't know about
Fact.
everybody else, but I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing it. Tired of seeing it. Mr. Huggy Doris said ain't no flour in his biscuit. Oh goodness. Rod Jones said we can move off pick 33 and acquire a few more picks, not trade away our best players, rebuild or not. Facts. Facts.
Facts,
Facts.
Rock.
Facts. Yeah.
That's the
And
best comment that a Gamecock fan has made in months.
oh Lord,
Burn.
don't. And if you haven't checked out our mock draft that we did on Wednesday, um we did just a straight mock draft, no trades, and we use all the 6 picks that we have. And so in the future, we're going to expand on that a little more and do some more scenarios where we try and trade that 33rd pick, trade back to get a few more a draft pick to see what we can do. But we're waiting on the combine, which is going to happen next week. So we can get a good
It's
idea
Tuesday.
of whose
Starts Tuesday.
stock is rising and whose stock may fall. You know, when you get out there and you see the 40 times, you see the splits, jumps, how many reps they can do on the bench press, and all that good stuff. So we're probably going to do
Right.
another mock draft on Wednesday. You know, we may throw a trade or two in there, but it's just kind of just kind of plain right now. You know, this past one we kind of focused on who we take at 33rd. Would it be offensive lineman? Would it be wide receiver? If you haven't checked it out, we went with offensive lineman Graham Barton from Duke. Okay. And our second pick, we went with Jeremiah Trotter, the linebacker from Clemson. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Make sure I put the junior on there.
Right.
Okay. Hold on. What Rock say? Said, don't be mad, Tony, because the
First of
Gamecocks
all,
would
before
be.
you read that, first of all, Rock, I'm mad as hell because ain't no E in my name. That's number one. Then number two, you gonna talk about UNC being beat by the Gamecocks. Now, if you talking about girls, you got it hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, no.
boys, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. I don't think South
Yeah.
Carolina gonna make the NCAA tournament this year. Boys, NIT probably.
Lord have mercy. All right. Well, Tony, you got anything to
TLE,
say before we get up out of here,
TLEY.
man?
I'm gonna spell Rock Jones ROCQ. Huh?
You got anything you want to say before we get out of here, man?
I was arguing with Rock, man. Nah, man, just like CJ said, the draft that we did Saturday was basically no trades, no anything. We was going to take
Hmm.
whoever was the best wide receiver or offensive lineman um with the 33rd pick. We would definitely be able, like you said, see or do more after the combine when you see people go up or go down or whatever. Uh the case may be. But I think the biggest thing for Carolina this year is we need to attain draft picks, not give draft picks away. So I think very much that 33rd pick is definitely up for grabs this year. If there's a player that Carolina like at 33 that they feel that can still be there at pick 36, 37, you can trade back 3 or 4 picks and potentially still get the same player that you wanted. There are going to be a lot of teams that come calling for that 33rd pick because that's the first pick in the second round. So they're going to have a
Hmm.
lot of interest in that pick, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity for them to trade back and pick up some draft capital.
Okay.
So that's
Hey.
why I think the plan should be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, y'all. Well, once again, we are still approaching our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we are almost there.
Rocky so
We at
disrespectful, man.
947. 947. So we need 53 more people to subscribe to the channel. And I will say this, okay? We're not looking for no handout subscriptions. Okay. If you like the channel, all right, you like our content, please subscribe. All right. If you don't like our content, come on live one weekend and tell us what you don't like about it. We love to have you. Okay, maybe we can convince you to stay. All right. But as
Yeah.
always, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on all social media at Two Fans in the Stands. We're at Two Fans ITS on Twitter, or as my cousin has dubbed it, Twix. Twixer. Was it Twixer or Twix?
Yes. Twix. Twix.
Twix. Yeah. So
Yeah. It's
check us out
Twix.
on Twix, as my cousin calls it. Okay. But I'm gonna take us out like I always do. Um, 3 things. Number 1, y'all be safe. Number 2, y'all be good. And as always, Panther Nation, y'all keep pounding now.